All right. Hello, hello. Welcome back to another Where Who You Are Wednesday. I am with my dear friend and colleague, Farida Raafat.
Hello.
And we are so excited for everyone's responses to these episodes. We're having a great time nerding out and providing tangible information for you. So if there's anything that you want to hear, there's always the Google form that you can submit any questions that you have on workwear, tailoring, office dress, and Frida is a regular guest on Where Who You Are, and we will answer it in a future episode.
All the things.
All
We
the
love it.
things. No question is dumb. No question is too hard. If we don't know the answer, it'll give us a chance to learn something new.
Exactly.
Love it. So let's dive into this episode, which is all about fabrics. Again, something that people don't know a lot about. It's sort of a behind the curtain. And so we are going to demystify it as simply as possible for you to be a smarter shopper. Let's talk about it.
Let's do it.
Okay. There's generally two categories of fabrics, right? Natural versus synthetic. Can you talk us through that?
Yeah. And I think I have to preface this by saying like synthetic doesn't mean bad. Synthetic does not automatically mean lower quality. There's a lot of like really interesting properties. So, these days we're used to throwing things in the washing machine or non-wrinkle or breathe like non-wicking and like all these properties, antibacterial, all that stuff is really not possible without including some sort of synthetic man-made fiber. So just like the name suggests, natural fiber are things that are found in the earth and the world naturally, like a wool, like a linen, like a cotton. Those are going to be natural fibers. And then you have synthetic fibers, which are your polyester, nylon, like all of those man made fabrics.
Great. And so you already answered the question, but is one better than the other?
Depends on the purpose. So, for example, if you're looking for athleisure or workout wear, you're never going to be looking at 100% natural fibers because you want those properties of wicking and kind of things with sweat, and you want it to be form fitting and all like stretch and like all those things are from synthetic fibers. There are some really great companies that are including a lot of more natural fibers in athletic wear, which I think is great. But you're always going to need some sort of like minor component of a synthetic fiber to give it the properties you want. Depending on what you're looking for, if you want a suit, for example, and you want a specific look, I always tend to sway the realm of natural fibers with suiting. I do think that they behave better and the way that they last and longevity wise, I do think are superior in that kind of category. So the answer really is no, there's not one that's better than the other. It just depends on what you're buying.
It's understanding the purpose, right? Like what the fiber is and what its purpose is, and is it accomplishing that?
Absolutely. And there are some really high quality synthetic fibers out there as well.
Mhm. And so then there's a lot of blends. I would say a lot of times when I'm looking at a tag now, for example, let's talk about when skinny jeans were in. The only way to have skinny jeans was if you had spandex or lycra in it, right? To get that stretch. So you would see something like 97% cotton or whatever, 98% cotton, 2% spandex or lycra. So let's talk about blends. What are some popular blends in suiting and what are the properties of those?
I think again, it depends on what the purpose is. So I think a lot of blends, we're talking to you in the summer. So I think a lot of blends when it comes to summer fabrics are linen cottons, linen cotton silks, things that are giving you properties of maybe a natural fiber that you love, but maybe just giving you the features that are in another fabric. For example, like a linen has that like very summery like look, but maybe the cotton and the silk are kind of like calming down that wrinkle factor. So depends on the what you're looking for. Same thing with suiting. If you're traveling a lot and you're looking for a travel suit, you're going to want to look for something that has a low percentage of some sort of stretch in it. So again, always think about the purpose of what you're buying.
And I know because we've walked through clients with this too, purpose and how you want it to function. I know one beautiful thing about your workwear that a lot of menswear suiting companies have not been able to accomplish is the fact that you have wools that are blended with a stretch so it moves to form and body. For example, we had a client getting a more flare boot cut pant. And so based on her morphology, we wanted to have something with stretch so that way we could accomplish that silhouette, but also it would move with her in the way she needed it to. So, just some things to consider. All right, I know that you love wool.
I do.
You are like wool's number one stan.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you know it's magical. You think it's magical. Tell us, why is it considered a four-season fabric? And then what is the deal with this thing that we see that's like super 120s, super 130s? What the hell does that mean?
Wool is my best friend. I
Thought
just
I was.
sorry.
It's fine. It's fine.
Wool, I just think is such a versatile fabric. It really depends on how it's woven, its weight, how tightly it's spun. It can go all the way from like a thick, tweedy, high winter type looking fabric all the way to a really light summer weight wool. So I just think, again, purpose, but it depends on what you're looking for. I wouldn't be scared of wool in the warmer months. It's just having that knowledge of how tightly spun it is, what's the weight per gram of that fabric is depending on how tightly spun it is, then you can see like how breathable and how much air is kind of like being let in and out of the fabric. So I think that because of that, the properties are great. It also is really well blended with other fabrics and takes two fabrics really well. So you can have that like small percentage of a stretch or a spandex and the wool properties still look like a luxurious wool. So that's why I love
It's like a
wool.
chameleon. It
It
sounds like
really
the
is.
chameleon of fabrics. And that's one thing whenever I'm getting clients their first suit, like we had someone come into our Chicago pop-up wanting kind of starter pack for business wear. And I know we both suggested a wool gabardine that was a four season that then could adapt to whatever you're layering it with. But it was like a nice, like medium weight. You can touch it and feel that it was going to be good for four seasons.
Yeah, and I definitely encourage people. I think this is kind of a bit of a lost art. I think our or maybe our grandmothers or their mothers were really more well versed in the world of fabric. I just encourage people to like go into their closet and maybe grab the things that they love to wear and just like hold it, touch it, look at the fabric content, like what about it do you love, and just be a little bit more informed when you're going to buy your new
And
pieces.
think about how you feel after you wear it in these temperature swings that we're in, of being like, "Oh my
Absolutely.
gosh, I wore this all day and we swung between 70 and 80 degrees and it was great." Like it was breathable. Or it wasn't, or I felt like that's where like a full synthetic, like full poly is going to retain that heat generally,
Right. Yes.
and cause maybe some sweating that you don't want in the summer. So those are some things. So what is the deal with this 120s, 130s?
It's again about the spin, like how tightly woven that fabric is. So, kind of the higher the number, the I would say I hesitate to say the higher the quality, but it is really the higher the quality. But again, it's purpose and like why are you buying that piece? So maybe a super 150s blazer is I'm gonna use that as but it's like my precious suit, right? Like I don't it's not the one I'm grabbing every day. It's not the super like high durable, like I can just throw it around type of suit, but it's like serves a
So
purpose.
does that mean, to clarify for my knowledge, when it's higher, it means it's spun finer, so is it a little more delicate or is it just, um
It just is a little bit more delicate. You'll even feel it. It kind of feels like butter. It doesn't it's not going to be the suit that you're throwing in your suitcase. Something lower number like a super 120s or super 110s. That's kind of the one that you're going to kind of get the wear out of. Again, it doesn't mean that that super 120s is a bad quality. It just is about the purpose
it's more
of that
durable.
suit.
That's the
Exactly.
one that you get when you say, "I want a suit that I'm gonna wear twice a week and mix and match it." Like, that's a, foundational suit is
Right.
the 120s, but then when you're going in something like, "I want this to be my like,
Like I'm
delicate"
wearing it
one.
for my wedding
Right.
or I'm wearing it to like it's my special occasion
Cool.
piece. It's my wow piece.
Awesome. That's really, really good to know. What other fabrics are considered more a four season fabric, and which ones would you say are more seasonal?
My best friend.
Uh-huh. What your best friend?
Wool is definitely a really good all year round fabric. Depends on the weight of that wool, of course. But it's a really nice one that I like to go to for a lot of my clients is like an all year round fabric, just again, depending on the weight. There are more seasonal fabrics, which obviously like an easy one would be like linen. Um, more relegated to warmer temperatures. If you're thinking about winter, like an easy one would be cashmere, anything like that. Obviously, that would be for your warmer climates. A really good starter fabric, I would say, if you're building out your workwear wardrobe to consider would be an all year round weight wool.
Love that. That is a great tip. I just decided for wool, I have to pun really nerdily. I'll be like,
Oh God, I'm
wool,
scared.
wool, you marry me? If Farida were proposing to a suit,
Oh Lord.
I had to. It was there. It was just a layup for me. All right. So let's then talk about these special fabrics. Linen, we've hit on it before, we've touched on it, but let's just formalize this answer. Linen is wrinkly by itself, and not everyone loves that, but maybe they want the look of linen or they want linen in their wardrobe. What are some things they can do to when they look at that fiber content to get less wrinkling in linen?
We get this a lot at Dahlia. A lot of women like love that look and they want a summer suit maybe to wear to the office or to wear casually, but they don't want that wrinkleability. I always tell people just look at maybe a blended linen. So something that is still maybe like linen forward, but like has blended with other things like a cotton or a silk that kind of take away the properties of that wrinkleability, but still keep the breathability and like the overall look of linen that we all love.
Awesome. Then on the flip side, what about cashmere wool, like thicker flanneled wools that could pill?
I think things like that are all about how you upkeep your garments. And it's really about the tools you have in your wardrobe. So, like sweater conditioners, sweater shavers, like all those things, how you're caring for it, how you're washing it, how you're storing it. All those things can really extend the lifeline of a wool or a cashmere sweater or like a thicker kind of fabric like that.
Because I think that's something to point out. Like people always say, well, it's going to pill, it's going to do this. Well, it is a natural, those are natural fibers. So they are going to behave how they're going to naturally behave. They can be woven different staple lengths of the fabric,
Yep.
longer or shorter, and the way they're woven, of course, will affect that, but they're still natural fibers. Just like your cotton shirts, if your body is a body that causes yellowing, it's going to happen at some point.
And like you said about the fibers, length, and all that kind of stuff, not all wools and not all cashmeres are created equal. Um, it is again a quality thing without getting super nerdy, but it is about like the staple length of the fiber and how it's woven together and how it's spun together at the core, like at the mill level. That's going to determine how it's going to act on your body.
So then even you talk about the way that they're spun and woven, something like wool, is it useful to have, let's say, a 12 weave, which is when it's woven and kind of has those little diagonal lines, or a flat weave? Is there something that's going to make the fabric behave differently or even quality or longevity wise based on how it's woven?
I think the way the fabric's woven just makes the fabric behave differently. I don't really think that one is superior over the other. It's just achieves a certain look. It's really about the quality of the actual wool itself that's being put into these weaves. But they all kind of achieve a different look and a different purpose.
Awesome. Well, this has been so informative. So to recap, wool, 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 wool.
Sorry, can you tell I'm biased?
So, but I think this is really useful to know. I mean, you are in the fabrics, you're touching the fabrics, you see how they last. You've been in, I mean, if for those of you who don't know, Farida started in menswear at major fashion houses. And so she knows that the quality of a wool and the properties of it are truly for seasons. So for those of you, suiting is a big investment. It is should be one of your bigger investments in your closet. Use fibers that will work for you, and a great place to start is a wool. And then from there, you can choose fabrics that will accomplish your goals and work with the way that, you retain heat or don't retain heat or how you want it to move with you is what I have really taken away from this conversation.
Absolutely, and there's some really, really great innovative things that are that are happening in the world of fabrics that make natural fabrics look completely different than what you're expecting them to look. So I'd just say don't be scared to explore and ask questions and just have fun because it's going to be on your body.
Yeah, and always look at the fiber content and then see how it translates and feels on you. I thought that was a great tip of saying, look in your closet. What do you like to wear? What feels good throughout the day so you can educate yourself on the fibers and the fabrics that you love. Any other final fabric thoughts before we go?
just touch all of the fabrics
The touch,
and
the
yeah,
feel.
just feel them and figure out what you like. And dressing's supposed to be fun and it's really intimate. It's going on your body. So just the more you know and the more you know what you like, the better it is.
As always, wonderful tips. Thanks for sharing your expertise so generously to us in the Wear Who You Are pod. Again, if you have any questions that you would like us to answer in a future expert chat with Farida and myself, please submit them, slide into our DMs, any of the above. We love doing this, truly.
Thank you so much.
Have a great day.